Blake Lively stands beneath the soft glow of flashbulbs, their sparkle painting the night sky in shards of gold and white. And for a moment, the world seems to hold its breath because here she is, once again turning attention into art and whispers, into grace. She steps forward wrapped in confidence and color, a vision of calm strength, and it feels like she is not just walking but gliding through waves of curiosity and opinion. Her smile quiet yet certain, her eyes carrying that kind of gentle power that says, I know who I am and I know where my heart stands. She radiates the poise of someone who has learned that fame is both a gift and a mirror, and in that reflection she finds truth and balance. And it is that quiet resilience that makes people pause and listen when she speaks of boundaries and kindness, of courage and compassion. She becomes not a headline but a human story, one that reminds everyone watching that dignity never goes out of style, and as the cameras flicker, she is wearing that strength like the most beautiful fabric of all. And it becomes clear that this moment is not about controversy, but about clarity, about how a person can choose integrity, even when surrounded by noise. From there, the story expands into the grand, colorful world of celebrities who, like Blake, have found ways to turn pressure into purpose. Think of Zendaya, whose career feels like a constant dance between creativity and self-awareness, from Disney beginnings to the bold red carpets, where she redefines what elegance means. She never just wears an outfit. She tells a story with it, every gown, every suit, an echo of artistry that reminds young people everywhere that fashion can be more than fabric. It can be expression. It can be freedom. Then there is Beyoncé, whose path shines like a constellation across the music sky. Her voice weaving anthems of empowerment, her performances built like temples of energy and precision. She reminds the world that greatness is built from discipline, heart, and a devotion to craft. She gives her light not as a glare, but as a guide. And behind the glamour, there is always generosity, her philanthropy quietly supporting communities, her voice speaking for equality and justice. It is that balance between art and action that makes her not just a celebrity, but a leader. And from there, the lens turns to Rihanna, another queen of reinvention. Her journey from a small island to global icon, showing that creativity has no borders. Her brand, Fenty, becomes more than makeup. It becomes a movement for inclusion and representation, where every shade matters because every person matters. She takes the stage not only in concerts, but in culture, reshaping what beauty looks like, and teaching the world that success shines brightest when it lights others too. Then comes Harry Styles, a symbol of freedom in fashion and feeling, blending masculinity and femininity in a symphony of color and confidence. His journey from boy band fame to solo artistry is a lesson in evolution. He walks red carpets in pearls and pastel suits, reminding fans that authenticity is never outdated. He uses his voice not to divide, but to unite with kindness as his quiet rebellion and as the narrative flows. The camera of imagination moves across continents to the dazzling energy of BTS 7 artists who turned dreams into global harmony with choreography that feels like heartbeat and lyrics that echo. Hope they show what teamwork and vulnerability can create when shared with millions. Their story is not just about music, but about message that you can be both strong and soft. That fame can be friendship, and that art can be healing across oceans. Priya in Mumbai dresses for her first audition. Inspired by Priyanka Chopra, whose journey from Miss World to actress, producer, and humanitarian proves that ambition and compassion can live side by side, Priyanka reminds the world that representation matters and that storytelling can build bridges between cultures. Her smile on screen and her advocacy off-screen both speak the same language, the language of possibility, and from India to Hollywood to London to Seoul to Lagos to Paris, the rhythm continues, each celebrity carrying their own melody in this grand orchestra of creativity, where fame becomes not a wall, but a window. The story circles back to Blake Lively again. Her presence at the center, not as a headline of conflict, but as a symbol of composure. She stands for a new kind of celebrity, one that leads with empathy and purpose. Her style choices, from bold red gowns to tailored suits, reflect not vanity but vision. She styles herself in ways that celebrate individuality, that say to every viewer you can be your own designer, not just of clothes, but of destiny. She becomes a muse for modern confidence, mixing glamour with groundedness. And behind the scenes, she gives time to causes that matter, helping children access education, supporting environmental efforts, speaking softly yet steadily about issues that deserve light. And when fans meet her, they often say she feels like a friend, someone who laughs easily and listens fully, proving that authenticity can exist even under the spotlight. Her story, like many others, shows that the true artistry of a celebrity lies not in their fame, but in their humanity. It is the small gestures that last, the extra smile, the kind word, the time taken to uplift someone else. And as the narrative widens, it sweeps into the larger galaxy of stars who have found meaning beyond applause. Selena Gomez, using her platform to discuss mental health awareness and showing that vulnerability is not weakness but strength. Lady Gaga, turning pain into performance art. Her foundation working for youth empowerment. Her fashion, once shocking, now celebrated as fearless self-love. And through all these stories runs a single thread: the idea that fame at its best is service, a way to share light rather than hoard it. And as we drift further into this world, we see how even the brightest names once started in shadows, how Dua Lipa sang in small clubs, how Timothée Chalamet rehearsed in quiet rooms, how Zendaya practiced lines in mirrors, and how every overnight success was in truth years of unseen effort. They remind us that dreams require both courage and patience, that glitter is often made from grit, and that each stumble is a stepping stone. And as the unseen narrator of this journey speaks, you can feel that the tone is not gossip, but gratitude, a celebration of artistry and growth of fashion, as expression of resilience as beauty. We move through film sets and concert stages and humanitarian missions, seeing how celebrities channel their influence toward change, whether through donations, awareness campaigns, or simply being honest about their struggles. Each story folds gently into the next, until the world of fame feels not distant but familiar, like a collection of stories about people who dared to share their light. Blake Lively remains the red thread through it all, her metaphorical chili flake red spirit symbolizing passion, warmth, and courage. She becomes the color that connects this entire canvas, reminding us that in a world of endless attention, it is integrity that glows longest. And so the first chapter of this endless narrative closes not with an ending, but an invitation to keep watching, keep listening, and keep believing in the quiet power of good hearts shining under bright lights. And as the soft hum of fame continues to echo across the world, we find ourselves drifting deeper into the glowing mosaic of creativity, where every celebrity becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of culture. And just like Blake Lively, many others have learned that the truest power is not in the noise, but in the note held steady. Think of Taylor Swift, who turned her diary into anthems and her setbacks into symphonies. She showed the world that reinvention is not betrayal, but bravery, that every era of life has its melody. Her songwriting became not just entertainment, but emotional architecture, a safe place for millions to feel seen. And when she stood up for artists' rights or spoke about ownership and authenticity, it was another version of that same message that Blake carries, that grace does not mean silence. It means strength with empathy. Taylor's journey reminds us that resilience can wear lipstick and carry a guitar. Then we flow into the universe of Ryan Reynolds, who, like Blake, shows that humor is a language of healing. His quick wit and self-deprecating charm make audiences laugh, but behind it lies discipline, kindness, and a relentless work ethic. His ventures into business and philanthropy prove that creativity has no boundaries. He turns entrepreneurship into entertainment and uses every platform to uplift others. And when he and Blake appear together, the world sees a partnership built on laughter, respect, and teamwork, proving that love, too, can be a kind of artistry. From there, the narrative travels to Asia, where the pop culture scene pulses with innovation and light. We see Lisa from Blackpink commanding stages in glittering outfits that celebrate individuality and cultural pride. Her performances radiate confidence, and her influence stretches far beyond music, inspiring fans to express themselves without fear. Her success is not just about breaking charts, but breaking barriers, and beside her, Jungkook from BTS shines with that quiet intensity that makes artistry look effortless. His journey from small-town dreams to global icon status reminds us that talent is universal, but perseverance is what makes it timeless. And as we glide through the cityscapes of Tokyo, Seoul, and Bangkok, we meet designers, models, and artists who find inspiration in both tradition and technology, blending silk and circuits, culture, and color to create a new vision of beauty. Their runway is not just fabric and light, but progress and unity, each outfit telling the story of a generation that dares to stand out. Then we return to Hollywood, where Zendaya continues to redefine what modern stardom looks like. Her collaborations with stylists and creators are lessons in trust and vision. Every red carpet moment feels like a short film. Every expression, a dialogue between history. And now she uses fashion as a way to honor those who came before and pave the way for those who will come next. Her poise and intelligence remind us that elegance is more than appearance, it is awareness, it is respect. And in that same vein, we find Florence Pugh, whose authenticity has become her signature. Her laughter in interviews, her transparency about her journey through fame, they make her not untouchable, but beautifully human. She walks through the chaos of celebrity with a fearless heart, showing that vulnerability can coexist with strength. And as we follow this trail of light, we meet stars who use their platforms for change. Leonardo DiCaprio, whose devotion to the planet stretches beyond film sets to forests and oceans. His documentaries, his foundation all echo one truth: that with great influence comes great responsibility, and across the ocean. In Nigeria, Burna Boy fuses rhythm and activism, blending Afro-fusion beats with stories of heritage and hope. He becomes a cultural ambassador, reminding the world that music is not just sound. It is soul, and every concert becomes a celebration of identity. The documentary Eye then pans to South America, where Shakira dances with that eternal fire. Her career a testament to adaptability. Her humanitarian work, giving children education and safety, proving that talent and tenderness can walk hand in hand. And then to Europe, where Dua Lipa stands under neon lights, turning pop into poetry and using her platform to empower young women to dream beyond borders. These stories intertwine in the same current of courage and creativity, the kind that turns fame from a spotlight into a sunrise and through it all. Blake Lively remains our compass. Her symbolic warning, her metaphorical stand for authenticity, reminding everyone watching that public life does not have to mean losing private truth. Her image in that red gown becomes a metaphor for passion that is pure, not performative. And as she smiles at fans on sidewalks or sends messages of gratitude online, it feels like she is speaking directly to the dreamers who follow her, telling them to never let noise drown out their voice. And so the narrative glides into the realm of fashion once again, exploring how color becomes character and style becomes storytelling. From the structured silhouettes of Alexander McQueen to the fluid visions of Valentino designers continue to turn imagination into wearable poetry, and celebrities become living canvases for those creations. Yet the true artistry is not in luxury, but in meaning, in how these looks make people feel confident, alive, visible. And then we move into the world of sports, where athletes become unexpected style icons. Serena Williams blending athleticism with elegance, Lewis Hamilton using fashion to express identity and conviction. And even in their arenas, the same themes echo: perseverance, grace, self-expression, all woven together into this tapestry of fame and purpose. The documentary rhythm softens as it tells of quiet heroes too. Those who may not walk red carpets but still shine brightly, stylists who work behind the scenes, makeup artists, photographers who freeze fleeting beauty in timeless frames, designers who stitch dreams one thread at a time, and their devotion becomes part of the larger story of celebrity, the unseen heartbeat of every glamorous moment, and through their craft, they too become storytellers. Each detail a love letter to creativity. And the more we travel through these lives, the clearer it becomes that fame at its best is collaboration. It is not a crown, but a conversation. A give and take between artist and audience, between vision and vulnerability. And as the scene widens to reveal fans across the globe, we see faces lit by phone screens, hearts beating in sync with the songs and stories that inspire them. Fans writing letters, creating art, organizing charities in the name of their idols, turning admiration into action and kindness. That ripple effect of inspiration is perhaps the truest legacy any celebrity can leave. And in that glow, we return once again to Blake, whose steady grace remains the thread holding all these narratives together. She stands not above the crowd, but among it, as if to say that fame is fleeting, but humanity is forever. She wears her confidence like armor and her compassion like perfume, subtle yet unforgettable. Her journey through the shifting tides of pop culture becomes a reminder that it is not the storms we face that define us, but how we rise through them. And with that thought, the documentary voice smiles, almost as if pausing to breathe before leading us deeper into the next wave of stories where comebacks rise from quiet corners and new generations begin to find their fire in the endless sky of celebrity inspiration. As the lights of fame shimmer across horizons, new stories rise like dawn, each one carrying the quiet heartbeat of persistence and the glow of human spirit. And we begin this next chapter with Selena Gomez, whose journey through both triumph and trial has become an anthem for self-love and healing. She stands on stage with a voice that trembles not from fear, but from truth, reminding her fans that it is okay to be unfinished, to be growing, to be vulnerable. Her honesty has turned pain into power, and her charity work and mental health advocacy has built safe spaces for millions. She reminds the world that celebrities are not untouchable idols, but mirrors of our own imperfections and hopes. Her kindness ripples outward like a melody that never fades, and beside her we find Demi Lovato, another voice of resilience. Their story a tapestry of challenge and courage, each lyric shaped by honesty, each comeback a testament to the strength that comes from breaking and rebuilding. Demi teaches the world that healing is not linear, but beautiful in its persistence. And from their strength, we drift toward the radiance of Lady Gaga, who has always turned emotion into art. Her every performance a cinematic universe of feeling, her foundation. Born this way, reaching hearts with its message of acceptance and compassion, she reminds us that fame can be a megaphone for love, that even in a world chasing perfection, authenticity remains the most beautiful rebellion. And as we travel through her world of sequins and sincerity, we are reminded of how artistry and empathy entwine into something transformative. Then the lens shifts toward Asia again, where the members of Blackpink and BTS continue to blur boundaries of culture, music, and fashion. Their concerts become more than entertainment. They become global celebrations of diversity, friendship, and hope. Jennie, Lisa, Jisoo, and Rosé, each bringing their unique light to the stage. Their global influence encouraging millions to believe that no dream is too far if your heart stays close to its roots. And the boys of BTS reminding fans to love themselves, to find strength in connection and community. Every song a love letter to the journey of growing up in a digital world where pressure and possibility coexist. And in this great wave of pop and purpose, we find ourselves remembering that celebrity at its best is about collective healing, about the way art can become a bridge between people who might never meet, but still feel understood through shared sound and story. The narrative flows onward to the elegance of Emma Watson, who blends intellect with influence, turning red carpets into classrooms of awareness. Her role as a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador, her campaigns for gender equality, her thoughtful approach to fashion sustainability, all combine to show that glamour and conscience can coexist harmoniously. She reminds young viewers that fame does not have to be loud to be powerful, that a whisper of integrity can echo longer than a shout of spectacle. And her presence in this great web of stories feels like calm light guiding us through the chaos of celebrity culture. And as the camera of imagination sweeps onward, it finds Keanu Reeves, a quiet star whose humility has become legend. His kindness off-screen, his respect for fans, his generosity toward coworkers have made him a symbol of goodness in a world that often confuses fame with ego. His story teaches that success does not have to change who you are. It can simply amplify your kindness. And there is something poetic about how Keanu's stillness contrasts with the noise of stardom, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply be kind, quietly, consistently, sincerely, and through him, we remember that heroism exists not just in movies, but in moments of compassion. We move then to the fashion capitals, where designers, artists, and icons collaborate to shape not just trends, but movements. Rihanna's Fenty line expanding into new realms of inclusivity. Zendaya, partnering with visionaries to tell stories through silhouettes and colors. Lil Nas X turning boldness into beauty, with outfits that challenge norms and invite joy. Each of them uses fabric as language, fashion as conversation. The color red, the metaphor that started this journey, continues to appear in flashes across runways and stages, from Blake Lively's chili flake red gown to scarlet sneakers to crimson lipsticks, each one representing the courage to stand out, to speak truth, to color the world with individuality. And as we travel deeper, the story shifts toward philanthropy, the unseen but essential side of fame, where generosity blossoms in quiet corners. Taylor Swift donating to schools and fans in need, Beyonce funding scholarships and disaster relief, Leonardo DiCaprio fighting for the planet, Angelina Jolie dedicating years to refugee advocacy. These acts of compassion reveal the real legacy of celebrity, the invisible impact that stretches beyond screens and stages into lives changed and futures made brighter. And in between the grand gestures, there are smaller moments too. A celebrity visiting a hospital, a musician sending encouragement to a struggling fan, an actor using their platform to highlight an unknown artist. Each act a spark in the constellation of kindness. And in this light, we see that fame, though fleeting, can become eternal when used for good. And so the narration softens to show how fans respond, how they take inspiration and turn it into their own creativity. Teenagers starting nonprofits inspired by their idols, artists painting portraits, fans raising funds in the name of hope. It becomes clear that celebrity is not a one-way story, but a dialogue, a dance between those who create and those who care, each one giving meaning to the other and through it all. Blake Lively's symbolic warning about authenticity still hums in the background, her image in red reminding us that attention is temporary but intention is timeless. And as we move toward the next wave of tales, we find ourselves standing at the edge of comeback stories. Those moments when the stars we thought had dimmed suddenly burn brighter than ever, because resilience is the hidden rhythm of fame, and every fall becomes the seed of renewal. The rhythm of fame beats on, and with every pulse, we see how stories evolve, how generations pass the torch of creativity from one heart to another, and it feels like the world of celebrity has become its own constellation of lessons, each shining, light teaching us something about courage, about vulnerability, about hope. We return once more to Blake Lively, who stands not as a figure of controversy, but of composure. She smiles softly amid flashing lights, and in that smile we read a message. That grace is not the absence of struggle, but the way one moves through it. She has become a symbol of self-trust, reminding everyone watching that you can navigate fame with kindness and conviction. Her fashion choices still bold, her confidence still effortless. She becomes the embodiment of chili flake red, the color of energy, of heart, of passion. She wears it like an affirmation that life is meant to be lived fully. That expression is its own form of art. And as her image fades into the next scene, we see how her story blends with those of countless others across the globe. In South Korea, we find IU, whose gentle voice has carried comfort to millions. Her songs filled with poetry and quiet understanding. Her humanitarian work supporting children and education, her humility as luminous as her talent. She reminds fans that empathy is not weakness, it is wisdom. And in the same way, we see Park Seo-joon, whose charm and discipline have turned him into a symbol of modern integrity, balancing fame with focus, using his influence to inspire fitness, kindness, and self-belief. These international stars show how art transcends language, how sincerity speaks louder than words. And as we drift from Seoul to London, we meet Dua Lipa once more. Her music radiating confidence, her performances wrapped in neon power, and through her rise, we feel the energy of a generation unafraid to define itself. She stands tall as proof that determination and authenticity can dance together beautifully. And then to Paris, where fashion merges with art, where Zendaya walks runways that feel like dreams in motion. Her connection with stylists, designers, and photographers, a symphony of collaboration. She continues to show the world that being fashionable is not about perfection, but perspective. It is about honoring individuality and transforming every appearance into an act of storytelling. And across the ocean in New York, Timothée Chalamet brings a softer form of rebellion, his vulnerability and artistic choices making sensitivity stylish. He becomes an emblem of creative honesty, encouraging young men everywhere to express themselves without fear of judgment. And in this chorus of icons, each voice unique yet harmonious, we begin to sense the heartbeat of what fame truly means in this new age. It is no longer about distance, but connection, about how stars and fans share the same sky and reflect each other's dreams. We travel next to Africa, where creatives are rising with stories rooted in heritage and innovation. Burna Boy still stands tall, his performances celebrations of culture and unity, teams whose voice carries both strength and serenity. Her songs bridges between generations, her elegance effortless and fierce, both together representing the future of global music, a blend of authenticity and artistry that knows no boundaries. And as the narrative flows into Latin America, we see Bad Bunny breaking molds, his unapologetic individuality turning reggaeton into revolution, his fashion daring his message clear that art should never conform, his story woven with humor. Humility and honesty resonates with fans who see in him the courage to be real. And then there is Shakira, whose career continues to shine with the same golden fire that first captivated the world. Her dance, her voice, Her humanitarian efforts, all expressions of gratitude for the opportunities life has given her. She stands as a testament to endurance and evolution, a reminder that passion never fades. It only transforms. And in this kaleidoscope of color, sound and soul, we glimpse the collective heart of celebrity culture. It beats with gratitude, with creativity, with the quiet understanding that every spotlight is temporary, but every act of kindness, eternal. And as we circle back to Hollywood, we see more examples of this truth. We see Tom Holland balancing blockbuster fame with humility, his charm reminding fans that joy and responsibility can coexist. We see Zendaya and Tom together symbolizing a partnership of respect and equality, their chemistry extending beyond screen into inspiration, and it becomes clear that the most admired celebrities are not those who chase attention, but those who use attention to lift others and to share something meaningful. We move then to Italy, where fashion and film intertwine, where stars like Luca Marinelli and Monica Bellucci show how European cinema continues to explore human emotion with depth and grace. The artistry of expression continuing to evolve, just like the global audience watching it all unfold, and back again to the United States, where younger stars rise, fresh voices like Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish, who use their music to express truth without filters, their honesty reminding us that the next generation of fame is built not on perfection, but on authenticity. They show that to be famous now is to be fearless in your humanity, to show your scars, your laughter, your growth, and through all these stories, the thread of compassion runs unbroken, connecting Blake Lively's calm courage to every artist, every fan, every act of creation. The film of this world unspools like a never-ending reel of resilience and renewal. And as we enter the closing act, we begin to see how fashion and charity merge once again into a celebration of beauty that gives back. Stars hosting fundraisers, wearing gowns designed from sustainable fabrics, auctioning their looks to support education and health. Initiatives, designers joining hands with organizations to make art that heals, and this movement transforms red carpets into rivers of purpose, where glamour meets goodness and fame becomes a vehicle for change. The narration softens again, as if smiling at the wonder of it all, reminding us that behind the glitter there are real people, hearts that ache, hope that burns, and dreams that drive the endless pursuit of expression. And with that reflection, the story prepares to move into its final motion, where all the pieces of this vast narrative return to one truth: that the color of fame, the rhythm of success, the light of creativity, all mean little without compassion. If you love motivational storytelling, celebrity journeys, and cinematic narratives that feel like a friend talking to your heart, this video is for you. Comment below your favorite celebrity story and tell us who inspires you most. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss more inspiring documentaries.